Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I am your host, Dennis Patholkis, and this is Saturday Morning Blast Off. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. It's Saturday morning, so you know what that is. That's right, we're going to be talking about geek news and all that kind of good stuff. How's everyone doing? I'm going to let some more people trickle in before I get to the good stuff, of course. Well, it's all good stuff for the most part. But yeah, what the hell? Hey, Joe. Hey, Pen Farm Girl. And Viking Bitch, how's it going? All right. Let's see what we got here on my topics. Yeah, that'll work. So, Chad Stileski, who, of course, directed the John Wick movies, he's been brought in to oversee second unit photography for the action scenes on Birds of Prey. So, Birds of Prey has wrapped principal photography, but they are going back and doing reshoots on some of the action scenes because I guess the action scenes weren't popping. So they actually brought in Chad Stileski, who is a former stuntman and also a good director, to oversee that second unit photography on the excuse me, on the stunts there. And that's a good sign, quite honestly. And I kind of want to see that. Hopefully, DC or Warner Brothers, whoever's doing these movies now at this point, kind of takes him in and might be bringing him in for other movies. Maybe this is just like a test audition or something like that to see how he does. Considering that he's made a shitload of money on the John Wick movies. So, Homelander's disturbed upbringing. Yes. Yeah, we're not talking about that, though. Hey, Mufinobi. Hey, Mr. Roboto. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm kind of interested in seeing how that's going to go. I don't know. We'll see. So, something else interesting. So, there's not a lot of news this week. I'm just going to say that right now. There's some interesting stuff, but not a lot of stuff. And it happens. News ebbs and flows around here. So, there we go. So Kevin Hart, yes, diminutive little Kevin Hart, homophobic Kevin Hart, says he's going to star in and produce a movie called Nightwolf. It's about a guy who, it's kind of like Meet the Fockers meets any kind of superhero movie that you will. So it's about a guy who finds out his future father-in-law is a superhero named Nightwolf, and hilarity ensues, of course. But yeah, I don't know if it sounds interesting or not. I hope it isn't with The Rock. I don't think it is with The Rock, to tell you the truth. I think The Rock is like 5 seconds older than Kevin Hart. So, yeah, no, Mr. Roboto, I don't think I can. Pennyworth doesn't interest me at all. I'm sorry. After Gotham, I just don't really want to go ahead but thank you though. But yeah, I really don't want to go into Pennyworth. Yeah. Good, Antoingo. You finished Project Blue Book. That's a good show, and it's going to start up again fairly soon. I believe it's January that starts back up. I can't wait for season 2 of that. Not iced coffee, Mr. Roboto. It is it's Bailey's Irish cream. No, it's vanilla chai is what that is. There we go. Pennyworth would interest me if it was not related to Batman. Exactly, Stanley Tweedle. I'm kind of over these shows that are about superheroes as a tangent. They don't even have the superhero in them. They are about their relatives or something like that. Fuck that. Just get the goddamn superhero in there and do it. Yeah, it's before Batman. I know that, Mr. Roboto, but it still has a character in there that is related to Batman who wouldn't have come to prominence if it was not for Batman. So it's I haven't even attempted Black Mirror, Mr. Roboto, because I've got so much other stuff that I'm watching that I'm not a big fan of Black Mirror either. So Black Mirror to me is kind of like a mean version of the Twilight Zone. Um, yeah, I just, it really doesn't do anything for me. I know, Antoine. There's a lot of things I say that are controversial in geek culture because mean, MEAN. Yes, not meme. No. Black Mirror just doesn't do it for me. Sorry. I've tried. I really have tried. And yeah. Not really, Mr. Roboto. It's okay. It tries to put in science to it, but it's not. It's science fiction. It's just much more mean-spirited. And I'm really not into that kind of stuff. It's just, Yeah, exactly, Antoine. I can understand that Doom Patrol is difficult for people too. Yeah. Uh, hey, Mr. Robot, I like him in some things, but already seen him with Kevin Hart. Yeah, I know. The Rock. See, what I don't like about The Rock's movies, quite honestly, is it always has to have a happy ending. Everything has to have a happy ending. It's actually in his contract that it has to have a happy ending. There are no bad endings on this. I mean, on any of his movies. So it's like, okay, you already know this going into it, that it's always going to be a happy ending with him in the movie. So, Penn Farm Girl says, I've liked some of Black Mirror, but not addicted. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you, Penn Farm Girl. He was good in Jumanji. I'm actually kind of looking forward to the second Jumanji, mainly because of Danny DeVito and Danny Glover that are in there. And I think it's funny that they are actually going to be playing the character. The Rock and Kevin Hart, I believe, are supposed to be playing them as their characters. So it's pretty damn funny. Happy endings, they have their place. Yeah, they do, movie Shinobi, but not. I don't want to see every single movie that an actor does having a happy ending to it. Doesn't need that kind of thing. Like take for instance, Mad Max Fury Road. That I just was watching that recently. It has a happy ending that's not a happy ending. You could do that as well. I mean, and that's perfectly acceptable, quite honestly. Joe, that was not me. Okay, let's talk about it. Why not? So Krypton has been canceled over at Sci-Fi, and it was only second. The second season was done, and they were supposed to have a spinoff. Tiny Lobo was going to have his own little spinoff. That's dead as well, and yeah, it just got canceled out of the blue. Well, it not out of the blue. So their first season had 1.8 million viewers. That dropped down to 400,000 viewers in season 2. When you have more than a 50% drop in viewers, that was not my fault in that at all. That is your lowering of quality of the show. I've talked about that before, that the show was lacking in quality from the first season, and they were trying to make up for it for the villains that they had. They did a really good job with the villains, but they didn't increase the quality of the show. They actually probably cut the budget on it, which I wouldn't be surprised considering that Goyer was no longer involved with it. He was off writing scripts and stuff like that for movies. And yeah, I did a twofer. There we go, Joe. I killed 2. But there's always a big but involved in this. It may find new life over at DC Universe. Because remember, there's a little show that got canceled over there called Swamp Thing. So they've got a big hole in their show production right now. So all DC Universe has to do is pick up Krypton, which already has all the sets and everything in place, and start production on it. considering it already had low quality, production values to begin with, they're not going to have to throw that much more money into it at all. It's going to be a lot less than Swamp Thing was, $85 million Swamp Thing for 10 episodes. So yeah, they can throw that in, and then they also have Tiny Lobo, of course, in the works as well. And all these characters, all these actors are still under contract, at least for the next 3 months. And there you go. Maybe if Krypton had the great Steve Moyer, he worked for the Gift. No, God, no. There's also the chance of CW picking up Krypton as well. Again, same production values, and Krypton is getting rid of Arrow, supposedly The Flash, and Legends of Tomorrow. Those 3 shows are supposedly gone, and Arrow we know for sure. Flash we haven't gotten a word on yet, nor Legends of Tomorrow. But after that, the only thing that doesn't work about Krypton being on CW, Pen Farm Girl, is they have Supergirl. So does it take place in Supergirl's world, or is it going to be another world that happens 200 years in the past? And then are they going to cross over at all into the other CW shows? Because they love to cross over on the CW. I am not lasering shows with my eyes, okay? I am not doing that. I might just be leaving them to die on the plane. But yes, I am not lasering. I'm not lasering the controls. I agree with you, Penn. It could work. I mean, it's just a matter of if CW wants to pony up the money for it or not. Also, I mean, it could work on DC Universe as well. And then there's a third option. There's HBO Max. So HBO Max is going to be looking for content that they want. And that's up and coming in October, November, something like that. And they already have it in production. I mean, they already have the sets and everything. All they need to do is keep running with it, and they instantly have a show. And they've already got little, Tiny Lobo. They're set up to run with on that as well, and they can actually just keep going. That's all I'm saying. I mean, there we go. Those look more like googly eyes, movie Finobi. I don't think those are laser eyes. Do they kind of move around when you shake them? Yeah. CW picks up Krypton. There will be feelings in hallways. There always are feelings in hallways on Krypton, Joe, if you've watched it. I swear to God, they really do feelings in hallways. I'm telling you, Grandpa Lobo or Time Displaced Lobo. No, it's Lobo, Mr. Roboto. It's just Lobo. They're saying he's going to be 200 years old by the time, or more than by the time Superman comes around, which is bullshit. So I just really don't like when they play with that kind of continuity stuff. I mean, Darkseid, sure, I can see Darkseid being that old, But yeah, I mean, and then I don't know. Yeah. Maybe he died a few times. No. Thank you for the birthday present. What, of Krypton being canceled, Stanley? Again, it's not my fault, really. Yeah, it really is not my fault. Yes, I know it's ironic. When I saw that, when I saw it was canceled, I started laughing. I'm like, and immediately thought everyone's going to blame me for this shit. So, yeah. It's not my fault that all the shows that I've been watching tend to get canceled. It just happens. It really does. Yes, Darkseid is one of the new gods. My next show that I'm going to do is The Rook. No, I'm kidding. Although I might do a season overview of The Rook either next week or the week after. Just to kind of, talk about it. It doesn't deserve its own weekly series. It just deserves like one. I'm going to talk about one season. Yeah. Lobo can just keep regenerating from any random body part, so maybe he just keeps him young. But does it keep him that stupid though? I mean, you'd think after a couple of 100 years he would actually gain a little bit more knowledge and maybe mellow out a little bit. Way ahead of you, Mr. Finobi. She already got her thing there. What is Cannon Busters? Stanley Tweedle. Maybe the brain keeps resetting to stupid. Who knows? So let's see what else we got here. Oh yeah. So Ewan McGregor is in talks to return as Obi-Wan Kenobi for a Disney Plus streaming series. Yeah. I found that kind of interesting. And I know it's been talked about before that they have been, batting this around and stuff like that. And now I guess that the streaming service is up there, and a thing that they want him to come in. Well, it's not that he needs the money, Pen Farm Girl. It's that Disney wants to shore up their Disney Plus service. They want to have viewers coming in. They want to have subscribers. And speaking of subscribers, scuttlebutt that I've been hearing is that you're not going to be able to share passwords with Disney Plus. They are going to be doing basically IP captures. So they are going to see where the IPs are that you are logging in from. They're going to match them against your account. And if they're different IP addresses, you're not going to be able to see that. So no sharing of accounts with, other people. Spectrum already does this to some extent, where, you can stream fine from home from different devices because you're streaming from your IP. But the minute you go on a trip, you're limited to the amount of channels you can watch or what you can watch from that streaming service, depending on where your IP is. And no, VPNs will not help you. VPNs will not help you at all on that one. So, yeah, you can try and spoof it all you want, but yeah, it isn't going to work, unfortunately. They just bought 2 companies, Disney did, that I just heard, that both involve security, like internet security kind of things like that. Yep, exactly, Viking Mitch. They want people to pay. They want their money. They want their money any way they want to. Yeah, I agree with you, Pen Farm Girl. That shit's going to be pirated like you would not believe. Considering that Disney's doing that kind of stuff, pirates are going to go full force on them. Dennis, do you know when the Disney Hulu bundle starts in November during launch or other? I don't want Disney, but a bundle with Hulu might be okay. I don't. I think it's supposed to be on the same launch though. Movie Finobi. I wouldn't imagine them starting one without the other. So yeah, it's probably going to be all at once. Yeah. Disney Beast keeps growing. Yeah, it does. Well, that's the other thing, Joe. There's another news thing that just happened. With Toy Story 4 just pushing over the $1 billion mark. It's the first time in history that a single studio has 5 movies in a year that have hit over $1 billion in sales. 5 movies. Yeah. So it's official. Disney is juggernaut now at this point. They are not going anywhere. Yeah, it's pretty damn bad. I'm wondering how many, YouTube conspiracy or channels and all that kind of stuff are going to come up, and the usual ranting and raving. You've heard it all before. I rant a little bit about it, but yeah, I'm sorry, Joe. It's not going to work against Disney. Does that mean no more live action Disney remakes? Right, Mr. Roboto. You know how much Aladdin made? Aladdin was one of those movies that hit over the $1 billion mark. Yeah. So they're actually working on Aladdin 2, Electric Boogaloo. You know, the Return of Jafar or whatever it is, like that. Yeah, they are actually going to be doing that as well. So no, and also Lion King is going to be huge, from what I understand. It's getting there. Yeah, hopefully with Mulan, considering that the lead actress of Mulan has gotten into a bit of a political thing going on, where she was backing the Hong Kong police. That basically she was backing, you know, fascism and stuff like that, and now there's a big backlash against her. And Jackie Chan, same thing. He was also backing it as well, which he's always been a communist supporter, so no big surprise there. But it's now started a backlash against the live action Mulan film before it even comes out. It's probably still not going to hurt the sales because the average American just doesn't give a shit, quite honestly. And they're going to go out and see it. Yeah. Viking bitch. Oh yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, Pen. I honestly don't watch any YouTube channels. I'm sorry. I just don't have the time. I really don't have the time. I'm doing as it is. You know, you saw I was 15 minutes late here, and yes, that's my time is at a premium. So there's certain things I watch and a lot of things I don't, unfortunately. Disney is now Thanos. Thanos is now Disney. Yeah. And that's the way it's going to be. But on to happier news. Actually, it's not happier, but so there's a movie coming out. It's supposed to be RoboCop Returns. It's the original writers for RoboCop, the first RoboCop movie. It's going to ignore RoboCops 2 and 3 and also the TV series. And Neil Blomkamp was supposed to actually direct it. Well, Neil Blomkamp has stepped aside because he has another movie that he wants to direct, and the RoboCop Returns timeline is already set. So he stepped down from directing, and you know, he tweeted about that. I think it was just yesterday or the day before, and I'm okay with that. To tell you the truth, I'm not a big fan of Blomkamp. He's okay as a director, but he's only done 3 movies, and 2 of those movies really sucked. Yeah, you know, Elysium was god awful, and Chappie was not that great. Neil turning down projects like Sci-Fi cancels shows. Well, Sci-Fi canceling shows is a given. Yeah. Dennis, I got to check out the trailer because you were late, so no problem. No big deal, Pen. I'm always a little bit late. So, but yeah, so who would I like to see direct RoboCop Returns? That's pretty easy right there. Doug Liman. And you're going to say, who the fuck is Doug Liman? He directed a little movie called, it was the very first Bourne movie, the one that had the really fucking cool car chase scenes. Him. He also directed that movie with Tom Cruise in it where he kept dying, repeatedly. Depending on who you ask, it's got a different title, like Live, Die, Repeat, The Edge of Tomorrow, Die Another Day. I don't know. It's got like about 5 different names. But that movie, he also directed the really shitty movie with Samuel L. Jackson as a blonde and the guy who played Anakin Skywalker who could teleport and all that stuff. But he's done like Swingers. That was his very first movie that he did. And Doug Liman actually knows how to do violent action, but also really good action and awesome car chase scenes. The best car chase scene I have ever seen is from his second movie called Go that he did. And it's set in Las Vegas, the car chase scene. And it's probably the best car chase scene you'll ever see put to film. It's funny, it works, and just great stuff. Yeah. And Dennis will never be my daddy. You don't know that from Louis Finobi. You haven't gotten that paternity test as of yet. But that would be my pick. I know that he's working on... Oh, God, I can't remember what he's working on right now. I know he's supposed to be working on a trilogy of movies, Doug Liman. But honestly, I think he could squeeze in RoboCop Returns. I am not going to get involved in that thing that's going on. Sci-fi is Sharknado. Well, Sharknado is over with, Joe. So now they're into what is it? Zombie Tidal Wave or something like that. Yeah, Ian Ziering. I just read something with him last night. It was an interview with him. And he said he was very terrified about doing the first Sharknado movie, that he thought it was going to be the end of his career. He didn't have one at that point in time anyway, because it was already over with. And his wife said, do it, because she was holding one baby and pregnant with another one. And so he did it. He watched it and he got the camp version of it. And he's like, okay, I'm liking this. But at the time, he goes, he was terrified of it. And yeah, he ended up doing the Sharknado movies. And of course, everyone loved them. And they're low budget. They're extremely low budget. Oh, wow, Dennis, you remember the title Edge of Tomorrow? I can never remember that title. Yeah, I know. It literally goes by like 3 different names, Penn, that movie. And they never knew what they wanted to name it as. That hurt the marketing of the movie because they never knew what they wanted to name it as. And then also, how do you market that movie without giving away the plot? So really what they should have just said was, if you want to see Tom Cruise die over and over again, come see this movie. That's really what they should have said. Yeah, I feel sorry for him too, Penn. So Ian also is trying to promote the idea that Swamp Thing's going to get picked up by another service, which isn't going to happen because of the amount of money that it's spent, and that no one's going to touch that thing with a 10-meter cattle prod. Yeah, just because of James Wan spending so much fucking money. You should work in marketing. Yeah, I know, Penn. That's... Quite honestly, it's the same thing like Meet Joe Black, which is a horrible title for a movie. You should have just named it Come See Brad Pitt Die, because Brad Pitt was known at the time. Come See Brad Pitt Die. That would have, marketed the movie pretty easily. And then, of course, it would have suckered a whole bunch of guys into watching a love story about a woman courting death, or death courting a woman. Either way. Well, the original movie, the original French movie, I believe, that Meet Joe Black was based on was called Death Takes a Holiday, which is a much better title than Meet Joe Black. I thought it was Come See Brad Pitt Be Pretty. No, that was Troy, was what that was. Troy is actually a fairly good movie, too. I like it. I think I actually have it on DVD back here someplace, too. I think I got it in the $5 bin. But yeah, I actually... I'm not a fan. I love 12 Monkeys. That was the point where I realized that Brad Pitt could actually act, because up until that point, he really wasn't doing much acting wise, I guess you could say. But when he did 12 Monkeys and he kind of dirtied himself up and was doing the whole twitchy thing, and I was like, damn, that's actually really good. That's the thing you need to do. You don't have to trick every man into seeing a love story. Romance is not dead. No, you don't have to trick every man into seeing a love story. You can get them drunk first and then put the movie on. I'm kidding, Viking bitch. I really am. Oh, Cool World was horrible, Penn. I'm sorry. I saw that in the theater when it came out. I'm a huge Ralph Bashki fan. He's the animator on that, and that's why I went. And Brad Pitt, I think that was one of his first roles. God, I had problems getting through that movie. I really did. I honestly, it was so bad. It's one of those movies that I didn't see it for like almost 20 years after it came out, and then I saw it again. I'm like, oh yeah, that's the reason why I never watched this thing again. It was really bad. Yeah, I love Pit and Fight Club. Well, of course, I mean, it's really good in that too. And if you notice, so one of the fun things is in all the ocean movies, Brad Pitt's character, he's always eating something in every scene. They did it purposely. So all three movies, Rusty is always eating something when he's talking. Yeah. And yes, I do know what the character's name is because I've seen those movies so many times. And yes, I do like Ocean's 12, even though Ocean's 12 is the worst out of the three, but I still like it. And yes, Snatched is awesome, Joe. Snatched is one of those really underrated movies. Yeah. As the Pike, as they call him. Yeah. And the horrible dialect, which yeah. Oh man. Yeah. I saw Snatched years ago, but Snatch, actually, not Snatched. Snatch. Yeah. Is that right? It's back there someplace. That's also in the video collection too. So, but I like Guy Ritchie as well. I mean, I'm actually a Guy Ritchie fan um, as a director. I know a lot of people don't like him, but yeah, I'll take him over. Actually, Guy Ritchie could do a good job too on RoboCop Returns. I could see him doing that. I think I missed that one. What's it about? It takes place in Great Britain, and it's about so it's kind of Tarantino-esque in that there's a couple different stories that are going on, but they all intersect. And Don Cheadle's in it as well, and there's a couple other people as well. You'll notice who they are when they go through. Actually, Stanley Tweedle, I did not mind the King Arthur movie. I saw that in the theater when it came out, and I liked it for what it was. It was the more fantastical kind of King Arthur, and that's what I wanted to see. I got tired of seeing the grounded King Arthurs that were coming out every 5 years, and this one having the it was more based on magic and stuff like that, and I like that a bit better. Yes, it's called Snatch. Thank you, Pen Farm Girl. That's what I figured. Snatched is the thing with Goldie Hawn and what's her face, Amy Schumer. Yeah, but yeah, Don Cheadle's in it. Yeah, there's bare knuckle fighting that's going on, like fight rings. There is a diamond heist. There's all kinds of stuff in there. Yeah, well, they have the subtitles in the. Yeah, I need the subtitles on to understand what he was saying. Oh, don't get me wrong, Penn. Yeah, Excalibur is the pinnacle of King Arthur movies. I agree. It's just I didn't mind Guy Ritchie's version of King Arthur, and also Charlie Hunnam as Arthur was pretty damn good. I have to admit, I liked him in that. It was fun, is what it was. It wasn't boring. I think it's on Netflix. It might be. I wouldn't be surprised. And yes, The Holy Grail is a good King Arthur movie too, Joe. But like I said, I like Guy Ritchie movies, so it was kind of funny when he was married to Madonna. Guy Ritchie, his movies sucked. I don't know what happened, but it was like he had all the creativity just sucked right out of him, and his movies sucked when he was Mrs. Madonna or Mr. Madonna. And when he got divorced from her, it was like all of a sudden his creativity came right back, and he was able to do some stuff. It was really weird. If you go back and take a look at his movies and the time frame from which he was married to her, it's really weird. Let's see what else I got here. Oh, yeah. So there's a big, huge rumor. Take this with a grain of salt. That Matt Reeves, the director of the new Batman movie, wants Pierce Brosnan as Alfred Pennyworth in his movie. Now, whether or not Pierce Brosnan would play Alfred in the movie or not is a big if. But maybe it's just wishful thinking on Matt Reeves' part that he wants him in there. I'm trying to think who would be a good Alfred against Pattinson at this point. Maybe Idris Elba, Scarlett Johansson. No. Scarlett Johansson's never played an English butler before, so she's out of the running. There'd be too many protests. Yeah. Which Alfred? Older Alfred or young older Alfred? That's a good question, Mr. Robot. Well, see, Pierce Brosnan is in his late 60s now at this point. Early 70s. Like late 60s. He's in his late 60s. So he would be okay. Joe is happy with his prize. So I will be sending it out later on today. Yes. Because Gotham Alfred, I don't think Gotham Alfred was spot on at all, Mr. Roboto. Yeah, I really feel that was not the case. Yeah. How about Plank of Wood from Twilight as Alfred? See, everyone just keeps basing Pattinson's acting on Twilight. That was 10, 15 years ago. He has done a lot of movies since then, and he's actually a pretty damn good actor, to tell you the truth. Yes, it was pretty easy to get in touch with Rough Girl. So I've got the tube with her poster sitting right here next to me, as a matter of fact. That's going out today. Yep. So, yeah, I don't know how I feel about Pierce Brosnan. I mean, maybe if he keeps the beard, I know he's got this big bushy beard thing going on, and he keeps the Irish accent because he's Irish, he's not British, which would be just a big clusterfuck as well for putting Alfred as an Irishman instead of a British. That would get a lot of people overseas in a big uproar about that too. Mr. Roboto, he served Queen and Country. Also, DC have never done Alfred's backstory. Yes, they have, Mr. Roboto. They have done Alfred Pennyworth's backstory in a comic book form back in the 80s or the 90s. I can't remember which one it is. There was a whole series based on it. So I saw, Joe, there was a shitload of people for the Legion raffle, which is fine as long as they all live within the United States and give me their fucking address. That's all I'm going to say. I mean, because, yeah, that's a pain in the ass to try and hunt down people. It really is. I have some suggestions for Alfred: Charles Dance, Jeffrey Rush, Jared Harris, Ian McShane would be awesome. I agree with you, Penn Farm Girl. Ian McShane would be something interesting. Mr. Roboto, Dennis, are you Batman or a Batman? I'm the Batman. No, I'm just wearing a shirt. That's all I'm doing. Sam Neill? I don't know. I haven't seen Sam Neill in anything recently, so I couldn't really say. But Ian McShane, I could see. Jared Harris, I think Jared Harris either plays really, really out there characters or he plays very subdued characters. There's no in between for him. Jeffrey Rush, on the other hand, I don't know about. And Charles Dance, I can't remember who he is, unfortunately. I know the name, but I'm not placing a face, unfortunately. So, Movie Finobi. Why don't you show me? No, on second thought, don't. I really don't want to see it. So, what else we have going on? Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention this when I was talking about the Ewan McGregor thing. So, on October 6th, the animated Star Wars Resistance show, it returns for its second and final season. Yeah, that's right. You heard that. 2 seasons only of Star Wars Resistance. Now, I suffered through the first season for you guys, and it was the last 2 episodes were the only thing that were good about it. Everything else leading up to it was a shit show. I mean, just a complete and total shit show. Did you secretly like it? No, I did not, Tweedle. I did not, Stanley. It was a horrible. I didn't review it either. No, Movie Finobi, I didn't review it. Yes. So it's not my fault on that one. Although it should have been, because that was just a horrible fucking show. I really did like the final 2 episodes though, because it tied in directly to what is it? Not The Force Awakens, but The Last Jedi. Yeah. Whichever the one used the planet as the new Death Star. That was what it tied into. And so that, I was figuring if they were going to go off of that and keep it in that vein, then sure, I would like the new show. But I don't know what they're going to do. There was too many fart jokes in it for me to like, quite honestly. They were really gearing it down towards kids, which again, yes, Star Wars is supposed to be for kids and all that stuff, but they went really, really, really young kids at this point, just where they were just mostly fart jokes. It wasn't good. So you're going to say, well, 2 seasons is kind of short for a Star Wars series. And you're right. 2 seasons is very, very short for a Star Wars series. So no one was talking about this show at all. I mean, not online, Twitter, nothing. Nobody was talking about this show at all. What they were talking about was Clone Wars, which of course was having, a mystery season appear. I forget when it's on. I think it's supposed to be on Disney Plus. And Star Wars Rebels. Those are the 2 things that everyone's talking about. No one's talking about the show that is actually in existence right now, Star Wars Resistance. No one talked about it. No one liked the characters. Nothing. Couple that with attendance being down at Disneyland and Disney World, like severely down. Not just because ticket prices have increased dramatically, but because no one wants to compete with the hordes of Star Wars, fans that were supposed to be coming in for the Star Wars land, which of course still hasn't materialized, because supposedly you can still get in fairly easily into Star Wars land now and ride the rides a couple times if you want to. Does that mean that Star Wars has finally hit a fatigue at this point? I'm going to say yes. I'm thinking it has hit a fatigue at this point. And yeah, it's not just that. I think the new stuff, no one's really giving a shit about, to tell you the truth. So, and yes, I know they're trying to move on without the Skywalker legacy, which is fine. But no one cares about Rey, Krylo, nothing like that. No one cares about those characters. What they do care about, Ahsoka Tano, Sabine, Ezra Bridger, those kind of characters. Those are the characters people want to see. So what they should be doing is looking at maybe doing movies about a live action movie with Ahsoka Tano and Sabine going to go and search for Ezra and Thrawn, and this takes place after Return of the Jedi. That's who they should be doing this with. Yeah, Sasha, you're not involved in the Star Wars. I'm deep into the Star Wars people here, and that is from Star Wars Rebels. At the very end of Star Wars Rebels, we had these are actually animated characters that made mention in the Star Wars movies now at this point. Yeah. And hello, Sasha. But the all-new target demographic loves Star Wars. No, they don't, Stanley. They really don't. I'll be very disappointed if Catherine Winnick is only able to get shit roles. She was a goddess on Vikings. Isn't she in something fairly recently? Someone was telling me that she was in something, and I forget what it was now. Maybe you guys were talking about that when I... oh, she's in the Wu Assassins. That's what it is, yeah. Which I will be watching and reviewing next week, yeah. Yes, Ahsoka and a few others were cool and popular, yeah. And they are the ones that... And again, you need to have... God, now I'm just blanking on his name. Filoni. Dave Filoni. You need to have Dave Filoni start working on these movies. Not D&D. You don't need Weiss and what's his face from Game of Thrones working on Star Wars movies, because I'm sorry, no. Also, you don't bring Rian Johnson into this. He was the one that actually started this whole thing from going down. You don't bring J.J. Abrams in. You bring someone who actually likes Star Wars and is familiar with the universe, but isn't going to use legacy characters, is going to have their own characters that actually resonate with people, and bring in Dave Filoni and do that and reboot your franchise that way. So, yeah. It's not that they just pissed off the old Star Wars fans, Stanley Tweedle. It's that they were trying to start a new, legacy of Star Wars, but no one that was involved with it liked Star Wars to begin with and wanted to do a sci-fi series that wasn't Star Wars. They didn't have any love of it. That's the whole thing. I know J.J. Abrams says that he loves Star Wars and all that stuff. No, he doesn't. He loves money is what he loves. He doesn't love Star Wars at all. And you could see that, especially in that first movie that he did. And I'm fairly sure you're going to see that in the next movie that he does. Yeah, they were trying to make it all new, all better. And I hate to rant about that, but yeah, it's you can still do Star Wars and have it feel like Star Wars without the main characters. You don't need to have the Skywalkers. You don't need to go back 1,000 years to the Jedi, all that. You don't even need the Jedi in this whole thing as well. I mean, light, dark. Dave Filoni introduced an interesting character, the first interesting character in like 40 years with the Bendu. And the Bendu was awesome. I mean, that's what I want to see. And the Bendu was neither light nor dark. And he was like a force of nature, if you will. He was the middle ground of the Force. And that's what you need to have going on, quite honestly. So someone who loves Star Wars money... I'm sorry, Mr. Roboto, you need to clarify that sentence into something that I can read. They were trying to make it... Yeah, okay. I have not interest. Mikey Bitch says. I understand, yeah. You like the Felicity Jones character who died, Sasha? Why did they end Rebels again? Too good. They ended Rebels because Dave Filoni, they wanted him to move on to something else. I'm not cranky. I'm just disappointed in them trying to rehash old Star Wars without having any love of it, and then shitting on it in order to do new stuff, but still not, getting Star Wars, I guess you could say. Yeah, I'm no crankier than usual. Yeah, exactly, Stanley Twiddle. All the humans in Rogue One were bland. As far as I was concerned, you can interchange all the characters and they could still play the same. The robot was actually okay in it, and that was because it was Alan Tudyk, and he played him very snarky. Man, I'm not getting involved in that. Let's see what else we got here. Excuse me. Speaking of Disney, So, word is that Disney is not happy at all with the New Mutants movie, the way it looks right now, especially since the Dark Phoenix tanked really, really badly. I think it made what, like 40 cents out of all the time that it was out there. No, I think it only made like $40 million, if I understand. And they spent like over $100 million on that movie. So yeah, the New Mutants is not being looked at favorably by Disney. And I don't know if it's going to come out. Well, it's probably going to come out, but they want to do massive reshoots on this thing again. And this thing's been in the can for over a year, and yet they're going to end up doing more reshoots on it. Yeah, I don't know. I love how you know when your opinion is just wrong. Are you talking about me, Sasha? My opinion is my opinion. It's either, it's neither right nor wrong. It's just mine. So there you go. There we go. I saw that the director of Dark Phoenix said the fact it bombed was his own fault. Yeah, that's because he wants to keep working. Viking bitch, that's the reason why. And saying that it's Disney's fault or something like that. No, he owned up to it, said, yeah, I screwed up and I'll do better next time, kind of thing. Oh, you're saying everyone will tell you if your opinion's neither right nor wrong, Sasha. Nobody's opinion is right or wrong on here. I mean, it's you like what you like, quite honestly. Yeah. I'm not there yet, Mufinobi. Give me some time, all right, man? I will be talking about that in a little bit. Man. Yeah. Am I that predictable? Don't answer that question. Quiet you. Yeah, you know who I'm talking about. So, there's been an unholy merger. You probably felt a disturbance in the force, but after 13 years apart, CBS and Viacom have rejoined. What does that mean to you, the viewer? That Star Trek is no longer divided. There is no longer two different licensees for Star Trek. There is no longer Star Trek the Kelvin universe and Star Trek the original series that things are based on. So now they can fuck with Star Wars as much as they want and ruin it all over again because it's all under one owner now. Yes, you can all rejoice about that. I just don't care. Star Trek. I didn't say Star Trek. I said Star Trek. You got to get some wax out of your ears there, Sasha. Yeah, it's still fucked. Exactly, Fen. I agree with you. It's the people that they have running it again don't care about Star Trek. They never have. All they want is money. Does it confirm that Picard is in the main continuity? They will still probably move. I honestly don't care. That just looks like a big clusterfuck, to tell you the truth. I'm looking at that Picard series, and I really have no interest in it whatsoever. But then again, I didn't have interest in Star Trek Discovery, anything that they've been doing it. I didn't pronounce anything wrong there, Sasha. Your ears are just hearing things. Hearing things wrong, I should say. Star Wars is divided between original and fan fiction. Yeah. Everything is coming. So you have a series that once it gets long enough in the tooth and you start having a lot of different people that are not the original creators that are talking about this stuff or trying to make stuff for it, they are going to move away from the source material in drastic ways, or try to, because they want to get, quote unquote, new blood. They want to get new viewers. They want to be edgy. it happens all the time, unless you're Disney. And then you try and stay with it as long as possible and just reinvent it in new ways and make it look like it's fresh, but it's not. Pen Farm Girl, Star Trek is my first love, and I hate what it's become, but I still love the franchise as a whole. Yeah, I like the original series. I really do. I even liked Enterprise, the last season. Not the last episode, but the last season. The last episode was just shit because it got taken over from the guy who was doing the last season. I can't remember his name now at the moment. And yeah, bastardized. I have to get a bucket of ice cream and rewatch TOS silently sobbing. Yeah. Man, what the hell's a babblefish? I kid. I know. So the last bit of news that I've got here today is about Russian Doll. So that is the Natasha Lyonne show that she's been doing on Netflix. And I forgot about this show a while back that it actually gotten renewed, and I really liked it. Russian Doll is great. It's about a woman who keeps dying and then coming back to the same point over and over again. She keeps dying, then coming back, dying, coming back, dying. And it sounds repetitive, but it is a little bit in the first couple episodes, and then it changes a bit more, and it becomes very metaphysical and very meta at the same time. Well, it's got 3 seasons at Netflix. It's going to be going for 3 seasons, and that's going to be it, which is fine. I've talked about this before, that you need to limit your amount of seasons now at this point. Plan for them and make sure that that is what you do. So I'm actually looking forward to it, to tell you the truth. And I'm not going to be reviewing it though, but I might do, a season review or something like that. I always forget that Dennis doesn't like Hitchhiker because, he's wrong. Thanks, Viking bitch. Yeah. It's not that I don't like Hitchhiker. It doesn't do anything for me. It's not like or dislike. It's just kind of Yeah. I wish I knew about that 33 years ago. Okay. I don't know what we're talking about, but yeah. Yeah, it's like I said, it's not. Yeah. Trust me, there's stuff that I like that a lot of people don't either. So yeah. I know, Viking bitch. I know it's good natured for me. When it's not, though, sometimes. I don't like Lord of the Rings either, exactly. I just find Lord of the Rings kind of silly. I really do. When there's an easy way of getting rid of the ring, that's all. Dennis doesn't see dry British sarcastic humor as programming because it's like looking in a mirror with an accent. No. How are you? I like a lot of different things. Okay. Man, it's a tough room this morning. A really tough room this morning, obviously. Everyone says I have a bad attitude. I mean, God. I don't even want to know what you think I know, what you know I like, Mr. Roboto. Yeah, Muffin, where you been all this week, huh? I should say welcome back to you. I mean, mango. Someone remembers my safe word. That's amazing. Yeah. But yeah, that's all I got news-wise. Honestly, there's really not a lot out there that I'm, looking forward to coming up here. I mean, like I said, the next 2 weeks here are going to be a little bit on the dead side until Titan starts up, and then like all of a sudden everything kind of blows up, and we got like Dark Crystal, Titans, like I said, and I can't remember what else. There's some other stuff too that's coming up. We were just saying 2 shows that are so similar, and you'll love one and hate the other, but we all still love you. Yeah, Penn, it's again, it's the way some stuff has been made. Dennis, conform to our opinions if you want our love. It's called peer. No, I stopped doing peer pressure about 48 years ago. So, Dark Crystal, I hope it doesn't suck. Yeah. I've been hearing bad things about Carnival Row. Really bad things about Carnival Row. But then again, they haven't been pushing Carnival Row at all. I'm supposed to, I'm going to be covering that as well. And again, I'm going to stick by that 4-episode rule. If it really, really sucks, I'm not going beyond 4 episodes. So, yeah. I thought your safe word was iZombie. It's not. That's disturbing, Mufinobi. Isn't that a bit confusing to Viking Bitch as well? No, I don't need a British accent. Doesn't work for me. It takes 6 episodes again. No, if it takes 6 episodes, then at that point you're almost done with the series. I mean, it doesn't take 6. If you can't get your story across in the first 2 episodes as to what it's about, then you're a shitty writer. You really are. I mean, it's 2 episodes. If you're not hooked by the second episode, then it shouldn't be an episode. I mean, I still use Future Man as a reference on that. That first episode was a hook. I wasn't sure about that show going into it. And I was like, okay, comedy, sci-fi, I get it. I've seen this kind of stuff before. Time travel, all right, let me see what this is about. The first episode hooked me and got me into the characters immediately. And that was only a, half-hour episode? And there you go. I didn't tell you your opinion's wrong, Sasha. I just said you need, 6 episodes is way too long. It doesn't take 6 episodes to get into my shorts. Mufinobi. I disagree. Walking Dead and Preacher. Walking Dead doesn't take more than the first 2 episodes to get into it. And Preacher, the same thing. They pretty much set it up in the first 2 episodes. Okay, sure, Sasha. I said no. There we go. Again, I'm not going to argue about it because it just, yeah. Never trust a man that tells you something is too long. How many episodes does it take to give? I don't get nostalgia boners, Viking Bitch. I can have something that reminds me of, stuff, nostalgia. I'll watch stuff again that, yes, I liked, but yeah, I don't know if it's going to remind me of stuff. Really, Penn? Babylon 5? Well, yeah, Babylon 5, I agree, took a little bit longer to get involved in. But the acting was pretty bad in the first season. No, it wasn't the second time you got the, I just said it's a degree to disagree on that one. And that's it. Stopped watching Future Man after you stopped watching Future Man after 6 episodes? Okay, Stanley. I just say go and watch the James Cameron episode. That is the best episode out of all of it. And if that doesn't get you, I don't know what to tell you. Then you're probably not going to like the rest of it. Oh, got it, Stanley. Got it. You stopped watching Future Man after 6 episodes, then I brought you back to it. Got it. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, exactly, Mr. Roboto. Babylon 5 was good for its time. And yes, not again, everybody has their own different opinions about stuff. Some stuff people get, some people don't, and vice versa. Yeah. Future Man was so funny, but I get that isn't for everyone. Yeah. That's what I just said. When I was quoting you, Pen Farm Girl, that's what I mean. I just said it. I just read that. Yeah. God, what else do we got here? Did anyone like Another Life? Again, Pen, I couldn't get past the first episode. And no one else that I think there was one other person who told me they got through the entire series. Okay, that's sorry. I'm just watching something outside my window here and it's jumping through the trees, and I was trying to figure out what the fuck it was because it looks about to be like a small little animal and it's not a squirrel. So yeah, it was just weird. It got caught out of the corner of my eye and I can't tell what the hell it is. I really wanted Katie to have a win. It's such a shame. Yeah. Demon spawn. No, it's not children. Because if that's the case, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a bird. I have no idea. So, well, if you like what you see here, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Also, if you like arguments, come on by and hit the bell so you can see when I'm going to be on live again next. So you can argue with me on that too. You can go into the bell settings and get as many or as little notifications as you want. You can also go to my my webpage, suspendedfanimation.com, and see the schedule up there. I have the schedule also up on my Facebook page, and I also have a Twitter, an Instagram, and I also have a Patreon page, but doesn't have any tiers set up as of yet. No, I didn't say it was. Oh God, I'm not going to even get into this now at this point. So come join us and tell Dennis how wrong he is. Exactly, Stanley. That's the whole thing. SOB Fight Club, Viking bitch. Son of a bitch Fight Club. Yeah. No, Joe, not at this point. Not going to happen. By the way, Slurmy Scott has been having some issues. Oh man. Yeah, I was wondering what was going on. I actually meant to message him. I didn't see that. Man. So, well, I hope things are getting, I hope things go well with him, for him. So, what? Yeah. Okay. Where's the pen spray bottle? Exactly. Sigh, notification watching from the start. Sorry, Kato Roan. Hey, sorry you came in at the end. Yeah. You never know. He may be lurking. Yeah, I know. Sometimes he may be lurking. I didn't know what was going on. So, so tomorrow is Preacher. Monday, I'm going to be announcing the winner of the Legion pins. Tuesday, I'm off. Wednesday is going to be Woo Assassins, the first half of the season. We'll see how that goes. And Thursday, I'm going to be off. And Friday is going to be the boys. That's right. I'm moving the boys over to Friday for the next 2 weeks because I've got stuff going on Thursday nights. So, yeah. And exactly, you can check out the schedule on suspendedfanimation.com like Pen Farm Girl has put up there. Finish him. That's what you're supposed to say, Stanley Tweedle. You have to do it in your best Mortal Kombat voice. Finish him. And yes, you can also follow me on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, and on Patreon as well. You can take a look at my Patreon page. But yeah, there we go. Oh, man. See you, Mr. Roboto. Thank you, everybody who joined me today in the chat and contributed to a lively discussion today. And thank you to everyone who made it this far in the video, if you made it this far in the video. And I am not getting involved in the rest of all of this. I'm just going to let you guys go and have a great rest of your day. I got to go mail out some packages to some winners over here. And have a great rest of your Saturday. I will see you tomorrow for Preacher. And until then, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may find yourself on the wrong end of a chat, I guess. I don't know what's going on there. Yeah, I got nothing else to say on that. Thanks, everybody. Have a good rest of your day. I'll see you tomorrow.